Hello everyone, how's it going? My name is Brandon, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my BA book haul. Funny thing, it's no longer BEA, but Book Expo, for reasons I don't even know. This year at BA, I was very careful and very selective of the books that I got. Last year was my first event. I got 40. This year, however, I was more careful about which books I got, and I got a total of 20-ish books, not including samplers. I got more books than I intended to, but overall, I managed to get all the books that I actually wanted. And these all sound really interesting, and I genuinely really want to read them. Without further ado, let's get right into it. I'm going to start off by showing you guys all these samplers that I got. First sampler is this tiny little booklet, Renegades by Marissa Meyer. Funny story, to even get this sampler, we didn't even know how tiny or the size of this would be. And it was ticketed, and it was sold out. Long line for this little tiny sampler. A booklet of a sampler. And I'm just like, well, I don't even plan on reading this sampler because, first of all, I think I outgrew Marissa Meyer. Just personally, for me, I don't find her books interesting anymore. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't really care. The next sampler I got is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. This sounds super intriguing because it takes place in this made-up world called Oroshi? Orosha. The main character, named Zelly, is daughter of a magician. And the renowned crown prince wants to get rid of magic, so he literally kills all the magicians. I was about to say magic, but I said magicians. Magicians. So he kills off all the magicians, and she is now an orphan, and with the help of a rogue princess, they plan to overthrow this prince and get magic back. I'm pretty sure this is what the sampler is about. The actual book comes out of next year in March, so I'm pretty sure of all the arcs that I got, this one comes out the latest. The next sampler is Language of Thorns by Leigh Bardugo. Can't wait to read the finished version of this book because, look at it. It has this cool artwork inside. I'm just surprised at the work that went into this little sampler. And you can actually feel the really cool detail as well. This book comes out in September, so it's fairly soon actually. Last and not least is Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling, The Prisoner of Azkaban, J.K. Rowling. I don't even know. To this day, I still don't even know because I've heard it both ways. This is a sampler of the 3rd illustrated edition, and I don't even know why I even have this in the first place since I haven't even read Harry Potter. But I guess the novelty of having an art or a sampler, I guess. Alright, now let's get straight into the arcs because there's a lot of them. The first arc I want to show you guys is The Breakdown by B.A. Paris. This is basically about a woman named Cass who goes out for a drive one night and she sees a car on the side of the road and a woman, and she passes by without stopping. And the next day she learns that that same woman that she saw on the side of the road has been murdered. And soon she gets weird, strange voicemails and calls from the killer. We later learn that the killer thinks that she might have seen him or her. This is a psychological mystery thriller, which is totally up my alley. And I have not yet read Behind Closed Doors. I'm glad I own this one. This book is actually being released this month on the 20th, so that's very soon. Following in the same vein as psychological thrillers is The Dark Lake by Sarah Bailey. This one follows a detective who is following a case of a dead classmate whose body is found in a lake. She investigates as to what happened and why she was killed. Again, mystery thriller, and it was free, so I grabbed one. I mean, what else are you supposed to do at these conventions? Next arc that I got is Hunting Prince Dracula by Carrie Maniscalco. Funny because we kept saying Counting Prince Dracula so many times, and I actually talked to Carrie about this, and she was like, actually, this sounds like a great title, but then again, Hunting took the cake. Don't even know what this book is about. The first one is the Stalking Jack the Ripper, which I haven't read yet. I don't know if this follows the same story with the same different characters, or if it's in the same universe. Other than that, I don't really know much about vampire lore, or Dracula for that matter, so Hunting for Prince Dracula will be released September. The next one is Zenith, the Andromeda Saga by Sasha Alsberg and Lindsay Cummings. This book sounds really cool and very interesting because it's about a space crew, and they're all girls, and a dangerous bounty hunter that's after them. I'm very interested to dive into this one. It's very big. Kind of daunting, but hopefully we'll get there. Zenith will be released of January next year, so long time. The next book is Released by Patrick Ness. This book takes place in a day, I believe. It's about a dude named Tony who is trying to get over his unrequited love for his ex, and it just deals with all the feels and all the interactions of the people surrounding him and the people who he loves and interacts with. I don't know too much about the plot other than that. This book is actually already released in the UK, and the cover itself is actually really simple and aesthetic, but I actually like this one a lot better because it's somewhat artsy, and it looks really cool upside down as well. This book will be released in September as well. Wow, a lot of September books. You can bet that I'll be broke by then. The next book that I got is 27 Hours by Tristina Wrights. I've heard so much about this book, mainly because of the hype on book Twitter. A lot of people have been saying it's really great. A lot of diverse characters as well. This book takes place over 27 hours in which 6 different characters try to prevent an oncoming world war. I'm kind of hesitant to go into this one mainly because it has 6 characters. That's a lot of people. This one will come out in October as well. So, as you can see, a lot of September and October books that are being released. Another September release is They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. Fun fact, I haven't read any Adam Silvera books, and I kind of debating to start on this one, but also at the same time I also want to start with his first book, More Happy Than Not, and then continue on with history, and then continue on with this one. But we shall see. This book is basically about 2 boys who are going to die, and they meet on this app called the Last Friends app, and through that app they decide to spend their last day to have one last great adventure before they die. This sounds very depressing overall, but I'm really intrigued. I've never read this kind of concept before, or any Adam Silvera book. The next book that I got is The Dreadful Tale of Prosper Redding. This is actually a middle grade novel by Alexandra Bracken. For a middle grade novel, sounds super complex, and it's actually really dark. For a middle grade, I think. Basically about a boy who has a demon living inside of him. To break this curse, before the actual demon comes and takes his soul, he has to break it along with his friends. That's pretty much all the gist that I got from this book. And again, this book comes out in September. Damn it. September is going to be the death of us. I also like how half of the books that I got, I don't even know the plot or what the book is even about, but I just read some of the author's works in the past, or they sound super intriguing. I'm just like, sure. The next book that I want to show you guys is Berserker by Emmy Leborn. So this author, I haven't read any of her previous books. A lot of people have read Monument 14, but I haven't yet, and this book sounds very interesting. Very interesting. Like, that totally makes any sense. This book takes place in the late 1800s from Norway with a backdrop of Norse mythology, and it dives into the United States in the Midwest. This is about 2 siblings who have these mystical, cool powers, and the girl is known as a berserker. She tries to get to the States to find an uncle with the help of a bounty hunter / cowboy. I can't wait to actually read this book. It comes out in October too as well. There you go again with the September and October releases. We're all going to die. Next book is Moxie by Jennifer Matthew. This book is basically about a girl who's just sick and done with all the sexist slews and remarks, incidents at her school, so she decides to make a feminist design, and this sounds really kick-ass, and I really want to read it because it's also being made into a movie too as well. Comes out in September. What's new? The next book is Dear Martin by Nick Stone. I met the author and she signed the book for me, and she was super nice, and she was wearing like this unicorn hat. It was really funny. The next book is Invictus by Ryan Grodin. Again, I haven't read any of Ryan's books, and I've heard so many great things about them. These 2 people who can time travel, and they meet, and they find that history isn't all as it seems. A lot of people have been really buzzing about this book. Don't even know why, but it sounds very great, and I was in line when it happened, so there you go. Now we are diving into more of my favorites arcs that I mainly wanted to go a BA for. First one is Cruel Prince by Holly Black. Holly Black, for me, is one of my childhood favorite authors because she introduced me to fairies, magic, and that all this, it could be in your backyard. When I was a kid, I used to go out to the woods and trying to find a stone with a hole in it so I could see the fairies, as that's how you could see fairies in the Spiderwick Chronicles. I'm really excited for this one. Mainly is that I think it's a follow-up to the Darkest Part of the Forest. I have read The Darkest Part of the Forest, and I wasn't too keen on that book, but I'm really excited for this one because it's about a human girl who lives with the fairies, and the fairies hate humans. So she's trying to balance her worlds of human and fae as well. I'm really curious to see how Holly would bring the characters in the story in this book to the characters in the story of The Darkest Part of the Forest. I don't know if they will collide or clash, so we shall see. And the cover for this one is astounding. It looks so great, and I'm super excited for this one. This one comes out in January. Oh wow, we have another January release, so this one's not out for a while, but I'm so glad that I have it. Next is Daughter of the Burning City by Amanda Foodie. I don't know, I'm sorry. Daughter of the Burning City by Amanda Foodie. Before BA, I didn't even know this book existed, And when I got there and I heard what the book was about, I was immediately intrigued because it has to do with a circus theme. I think it's really rare in YA for those kind of books to have a circus theme, and if they do, it's not the greatest. So I'm really hesitant, but also at the same time really interested in reading how this book deals with the circus theme. It's about a girl in the circus who can create illusions, and when someone starts killing off these illusions, she goes off on who and why this person is killing off her illusions. Which brings me to question, if someone kills off your illusion, I mean, it's not a big thing, right? I mean, they're just illusions. They're not real. Hopefully this book will explore that. I have so many questions, and it sounds really intriguing. And the cover is just so cool looking, and I'm just super excited overall. And this book comes out in July, so next month. Next up is Warcross by Marie Lu. So far, Marie Lu has been a hit or miss for me. I didn't really like her Young Elite series. I wasn't too fond of that. And I never finished the Champion series. When she comes out with a new book, I got really interested because I didn't really like her other series. And the cover is just so cool. I don't even know why people don't even like this cover, because like what got me really intrigued into this was the cover itself. So this book comes out in September as well. The next book is There's Someone Inside Your House by Stephanie Perkins. I actually already finished this book, and my Goodreads review is already up. If you want to check that out, I'll leave a link to it down below. So this book was so delightful and wicked fun. So bloody. It was so gruesome at some parts. I was just like, whoa. So this book comes out in September, and it's about a young girl named Mariko Young who is Hawaiian, moves in with her grandma in Nebraska. And pretty soon she gets caught up in a series of murders, and she has to find out why the person is murdering all these people before she's next. I was really hesitant and wary of going into this one because Stephanie Perkins is known for her contemporary romance, The Famous, and The French Kiss. So I was really curious to see how she would handle horror, and boy, kudos to you, Miss Perkins, because There's Someone Inside Your House was an absolutely fun ride, and I loved it so much. And I really enjoyed reading it as well. Really short as well, it barely clocks in around 300 pages. Perfect for a Halloween read, and the cover itself is just... Next is Witchwood by Tara Mafi. Alright, so here's the thing. I don't absolutely know for sure if this is a middle grade or a YA, because this is a follow-up to Furthermore. It takes place in the same world about a girl who washes dead bodies for a living. Boom. That's literally all I needed to know about this book for me to pick it up, and I was so intrigued, and it has like some Persian mythology and lore as well, or the main character is Persian, I'm not sure. And the cover itself is just so gorgeous. I just can't wait to read it. Last but not least is All the Crooked Saints by Maggie Stiefvater. Literally, if none of these books were at BEA, I would still go to BEA for All the Crooked Saints. If you didn't know, I am an avid fan of Maggie Stiefvater's The Raven Cycle. If you have not yet read that series, I urge you to read it because it would change your life for the better, and it's just so freaking good. Of all the books that I got, this is probably the one book that I don't even know too much about, and I like to keep it that way. All I can tell you in key phrases and words is literally this book is about Colorado dust and old magic. Also, could we just take a minute to just look at this cover and enjoy the beauty of it? It's just... Sorry if I sound really stuffy, because I'm sick. And New York was great, but not that great. I didn't really like it as much. I had a great time meeting, talking, hanging out with everybody and all the authors, getting all these books. If you haven't gone, I highly recommend for you to go because it's absolutely such a blast. I think next year it'll also take place in New York as well. I also have a Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads. All the links are listed down below in case you guys want to check that out. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you guys all soon with a new video. Bye.